Alright, hello everyone, welcome to Sinful Gaming. If there is a Games Workshop reveal show, that means we're doing a hobby hangout leading up to it and watching the reveal show live together. So that is what we will be doing here tonight. Hope you've got something to paint on the paint desk. Let's get chatting, let's get, getting excited for whatever this reveal show is going to bring. We have Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Warhammer 40,000, Necromunda, and Warhammer Underworlds being shown off tonight by Games Workshop. And yeah, it should be an absolute blast. So let's get cracking and see what we can see. Jay, that's unfortunate that you have to go to work, but it is what it is. Arnold, good afternoon or good night from where I am in the world. Very different parts of the world here, but yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Don't forget to share around and get other people in on the action. Don't forget to drop a like, especially. That all helps. And yes, I do know it's still 2.5 hours out. We always sort of get together and have a bit of a chat beforehand. So, yeah, got 2.5 hours to paint my way through. I have 50 Wildwood Rangers on the desk that I need to get done. Well, don't need to. It's more of a, I want to paint up this army. I want to paint up a living city army using the Wanderers as my main core. So I've got the battalion in an army. I've got 50 of these guys to paint up. Guys and girls, because they are a mixed gender unit. So, what is everyone else painting up? Let us know. Yeah, I did see the Seraphon are coming to Underworlds. Arnold, I'm super excited. Once I got these, I do have the Sylvaneth Underworlds Warband sitting just there. And then I've also got the Kernothi one. Ooh, nice big scenic base. But yeah, so my job tonight is, at the moment, I'm on the stage of highlighting their cloaks. So, and once I've done this, I can put my glaze on. And then the cloaks will be done. But yeah, if you're watching, let us know where you're watching from, what you're hobbying on tonight, what you're hoping to see in the reveals, what are people wanting to see. I think the only one, there's probably two that I think are sort of dead giveaways for me. I definitely think we're going to see the Ossiarch Bone Reapers Warband revealed in full. I don't believe you'll be able to post links in the chat there, Arnold. But if you leave a link in our Discord server for me, I will definitely go have a check out. I reckon the OBR warband, I think we'll get the full warband reveal. I think that's what we're going to get. And we'll get shown that entire warband. And I think Necromunda pretty much explains itself. That we're going to get the Redemptionists. We're going to get that House Orlok expansion box, much like Orlok or Cawdor. House Cawdor expansion, much like we did the Orloks box with all the hoverboards and stuff. And if you're not already a member, go jump on our Discord server. There should be a link to it in the description of the video. Cheers. Posted on the Discord, man. No worries. I'm going to have a look-see. It's going to be a long night. Discord, hobby photo sharing. Yes, I've seen the model you're talking about now. It is amazing, Arnold. I love it. But yeah, so while we're waiting for those reviews, we're going to get some hobby done. Always the most productive during these. Always tend to get a decent amount of hobby done. But yeah, so like, do you play 40k at all there, Arnold? Does anyone play 40k at all? What are we hoping for 40k? I'm really excited to see. Hopefully, we see some more Sisters of Battle. I mean, I hold out hope that maybe we'll see some Eldar one day. That would be awesome. Some Eldar revealed. That is a long shot, but you know, got a dream. This week I've been organizing planning and getting stuff ready for the launch of tickets for the Cinderful Grand Tournament that I'll be running up in my local area. So that'll be happening in November, which would be cool. I ran one last year, and of course, like COVID stopped it being, I guess, as large as it could have been. It ended up only being, I think, 24 people in the end. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, so that'll be cool. It'll be great to run the tournament. Hopefully we can sell out. I've got a cap of 40 players to begin with, so I'm hoping I can sell out at 40. I think that'll be a good sort of. I mean, if we get to 40, that's almost double what we got last year because of COVID. Obviously, numbers became quite small. And since then, I've started a new game club. Where are your Dwarden, Jane Durthu? There are no Dwarden, although I do have to paint Warden King at some point for the Silver Tower. But just after having to grind through those Stormcasts to finally be finished. No worries, Jay. I will catch you later, mate. Have a good one. All right, buddy? Who knows? We might still be here when you finish work. I have work in the morning, so definitely not the case. But who knows? We might get to that point where it's just worth staying up. Anyway. I mean, hey, dude, like, I hope we get some Dwarden. Like I said, I've got a Warden King I've got to paint up for the Silver Tower thing I'm going to put together for you all. Everyone voted on it. Just after painting through the Stormcast, I really needed a project that was just for me, especially since I'm going to be helping a couple of friends painting up their armies for them. So if we get a Broken Realm that's dwarf focused, what would we get if it was Broken Realms and it had a Dwarden focus? Like, we haven't seen them at all in Broken Realms. And like, my biggest fear with Broken Realms for Dwarden, I'm painting elves. As you talk about Dwarden, I'm painting elves. I'm painting Wildwood Rangers. So Wood Elves are a big love of mine. Wood Elves were my first ever Warhammer Fantasy army. So this is just a bit of fun. And for those who don't know, like, my little boy, my son, is called Orion, like, which is really nice. It's sort of like a mix of like my love for like space, my love for like ancient mythology, and Warhammer, all wrapped up in a nice little name that my wife actually picked. At the time, I was working for a Greek restaurant, and so we were struggling to figure out a boy's name that we both liked, and she said Orion, and like, I'm just like, oh, I really like that name. I'm not telling her why I liked it. In the end, I came sort of clean that it was like one of my favorite Warhammer characters of all time. But she liked the name, and it is a really nice name. It's something unique and different. Anyway, back onto the Dwarden. Like, where did Dwarden go in Broken Realms? Like, what do we do? And I guess, like I was saying, my biggest fear for Dwarden in Broken Realms is that they get the same sort of treatment they had in they get the same sort of treatment that they had in what was it, Forbidden Power, where they were just a mercenary force, and I really, really hope that's not the case again. Dan Lynch, Wood Elves were your first fantasy army back in '99. Yeah, they were my. So Wood Elves, yeah, I've played them for a long, long time. And Area Games, nice to see you popping in there for the first time, buddy. Realizing I've not highlighted the hoods. So what is everyone hoping that they see in the GW reveal shows? What are people wanting to see, and what do people think we will see? Two very, very different questions. So yeah, what do people want to see, and what do people think we will see? Leave some comments in the chat and let us know. Two very different questions there. Right, I'm going to try this name. Alariable? I think you're entirely right. I think with 40k, I think the fact we've got that Sisters tank, or what looks to be a Sisters tank, shown off. They're coming out in the jewel box with Drakari in next weekend. So they've just gone to pre-order. Yeah, for me, I think we're going to see 9th edition Sisters. I mean, a new Primaris Lieutenant would be cool. Although they already have shown off the store birthday minis, of which I ordered. I've got the new Night Questor on the way. It was my local store in Adelaide. It was their store birthday the weekend just passed. So went and picked up that cool new Night Questor, the one holding the Minotaur's head. Dan, you just got into AOS, so you don't know what to expect. Bart Van Kessel, you're hoping to see some Umbreath. Dude, you should definitely go and check out Harkuron and Misthaven Light, and even like Anvilgard. Dark Elves have some serious play in Cities of Sigmar. I've got a ton of Dark Elf models that I've played in Age of Sigmar. I mean, anyone that has been watching the channel for a long time knows, like, I literally built the channel up on the fact I played Scourge Privateers. Like, before Cities of Sigmar were a thing. Dark Elves have some serious play, man. Yeah, so just getting into AOS, Dan Lynch there. What are you getting into AOS with? Like, how have you dipped your toes into the system? Are you new to miniature wargaming or Games Workshop in general, or are you like a 40k player jumping over? What's up? Oh, and well, I read a comment above that says you're AdMech, so I'm guessing you're a 40k player jumping over. Well, the Dark Elf units, JW, are some of the newest sculpts in from Fantasy. I believe like the newest sculpts are all the Wanderer units that still exist. So the Wild Rider kit with the Sister of Thorn and the obviously excluding the End Times unit I'm talking about, because what else were the last army book of Fantasy before the End Times was a thing? Donald, I don't think they will. I think it's like they certainly could, but I don't think they will, because the elves aren't harmonious like in themselves. Like, the elves are just as bad as Order at backstabbing. I mean, Marassi's whole thing has been deceiving Teclis, Tyrion, and even her own son Malarian. Right, she's not exactly on their side. That's fair, man. But yeah, if you got old Dark Elf units, like Cities of Sigmar is great. You can play pure Dark Elves in Cities of Sigmar and do well. The narrative does, but like then again, like they aren't all buddy buddies in the elves. I don't think they will. I think 4 is a great number for like Grand Alliances. Now, here's an interesting thought. What if they did away with the Grand Alliance armies? Which is sad, because I played a really amazing one in my last tournament that was just super fun to play against. But I do think they're playing around with allies more. They're like being stricter on it with a lot of the more recent tomes. You know, like Ossiarch and Gargants don't have any. Daughters of Cain are now very limited. To what, just Ideneth and Cities now, I believe, for Daughters of Cain. Yeah. Yeah, I think they've been playing around with like that 1 in 4 a lot in a lot of different battle tomes now. I think that is a much better way of doing allies than allies themselves. Being a cities player, I really like that mechanic, the 1 in 4. Yep, Tempest Eye, Barrack Thring. Obviously, Harkuron has it as well. Living City. There's a couple of others, and like we've had it in other things before. Like, do you remember like the battalions for like the Sylvaneth Wargroves in AOS 1 Sylvaneth Battle Tome? How they could take like zero, I believe it was the Iron Bark or whatever they're called, Iron Oak, whichever one that is. Sylvaneth could take 0 to 1 Dwarden units. And it like does seem that way that like I wouldn't be surprised in the next Sylvaneth Battle Tome to have like 1 in 4 Wanderers. But yeah, I definitely do like that 1 in 4 rule, and I would like to see that used more than actual allies. Sorry about that creaking if you can hear it. That is a very old chair that I have. Currently working on replacing that. That is on the list of replacements. Yeah, so anyone new, I can see new people jumping in the chat all the time. What do people want to see from the reveal show? Like, let us know where you're watching from as well. Love to see where everyone is from. But let us know what you would like to see coming in the reveal show. Remembering that it is Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Warhammer 40,000, Necromunda, and Warhammer Underworlds that are being shown off today. Hello, world. I am painting some Wildwood Rangers, the Wanderer unit axemen from Cities of Sigmar. I have 50 of them on the paint desk that need to get done for like the core part of an army. I'm doing a Living Cities army focused around the Viridian Pathfinders Battalion. So I've got 50 Wildwood Rangers in there, 10 Wild Riders, 10 Eternal Guard, a Nomad Prince, a Spirit of Durthu, and a Tree Lord Ancient in the army. And the idea is that Durthu can get super powerful. He has a whole bunch of different buffs that sort of, and artifacts and stuff that compound on him. And also he can take advantage of the Living City's sort of shoot and move closer ability. So the idea is getting this souped up Durthu into my opponent's lines really quickly. Hello, well, thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. I'm glad you're enjoying the channel. If you aren't already, you should jump into our Discord server. We have a Discord server, which you'll find a link to in the description of the video, where you can come chat and with all of that. I'd like to see something different than salamanders in Fire Slayers. I think them getting their own particular unit, I think would be better. I do think that's the right way to go for Fire Slayers, though, is giving them some more beasts. It's a really interesting sort of aspect of Dwarden that's not really explored a lot, because a lot of Dwarden just generally don't have monsters and stuff, so give the Fire Slayers all the fire monsters, please. Even like some lava golems or something would be cool for Fire Slayers. I'd love a reason to paint up more Fire Slayers. I really did like the ones that I did. So I would like an excuse to be able to paint up some more of them. And Arnold, as always, hello to you in the Netherlands there. Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying there, Dirthu. That'll come with time. Like in Warhammer Fantasy, the very early years of Warhammer Fantasy, lots of armies didn't have the variety, and we are getting there. I do like this, like how we saw the White King and the new like Nighthaunt character and stuff like that. I'm all for adding just little splash characters here and there. The like difference that like characters like that can give to an army is quite substantial, because if those characters have abilities that make other things better, then you start seeing those things you might not see as much. So, you know, let's say, what's a Nighthaunt unit that's not seen much? Let's say Glaive Wraith Stalkers. They're a unit that's not seen much on the table, right? Now imagine if that new Nighthaunt character, whatever he is, doesn't matter like what he actually will do, just imagine that he makes Glaive Wraith Stalkers 5 times as good as they are now. I mean, I know they're not great, but what if he makes them to at least semi-decent? So bringing this new character out allows you to now take different models that people probably don't own and you probably don't see on the table. For me, that's what these characters can do. They can allow you to unlock other parts of the battle tome by giving more combinations. I mean, if the Sylvaneth battle tome was maybe a little bit better, but even then, like, lots of people went out and bought Tree Revenants when the Arch Revenant came out, because he gave you a reason to play with Tree Revenants. Yeah, stuff like that, and like those characters have like good potential to do that. So I'm really happy to see like little clan pack character expansions for races all the time. So yeah, big fan of that sort of idea. Like adding these characters to allow us to unlock the units that aren't actually used. Nice. Yep, there's some solid picks there. I think I'm pretty much. I didn't pick car. That's a good one for 40k that I completely missed over. It's the Warzone Caradon expansion part 2. That's a good shout there. Yeah, like it doesn't work for every army, definitely. I'll say that. There are some armies that maybe need the opposite. Maybe need a new unit to make you want to take that particular character with them. So think of a character that's not taken much. Let's think Ossiarch Bone Reapers. The Soul Reaper is a wizard. Now, what if he had some powers that when he's nearby, say we got an archer unit for Ossiarch Bone Reapers, and when they're near the Soul Reaper, who is the character we never see in Ossiarch Bone Reapers, he is the least popular out of them all by far. What happens if he's near them? He can cast this spell that's on the Archer's War Scroll on them. Only he can do it, or something. Or if he just like if they're near a Soul Reaper, they get balefire arrows that do mortal wounds on 6s because they're near the Soul Reaper. Suddenly, you see that Soul Reaper taken. So you can do the reverse of adding units to a book slowly, making options of characters that aren't taken in the exact way I was saying, but reversed. So yeah, that's definitely an option there. So like, yeah, I'm a big fan of like just adding a unit or two every release to an army, or like not even releasing them on the army, not giving the army like a proper update, but just giving them new stuff every now and again. We're slowly getting through all these highlights. So yeah, but what are people working on at the moment? Speaking a lot about the preview, what are people actually hobbying on tonight or today or this afternoon, wherever you are in the world? What are you working on hobby-wise? What are you doing hobby-wise? If you're not hobbying, what have you been working on lately? Recasting, something I personally try to avoid. I do not mind third-party miniatures, but I will never buy recasted models. Now that talking on the subject, I in no way can endorse recasting on a channel. So yeah, I yeah. I have a good relationship with all the companies whose miniatures I paint. So yeah, that's my stance on it. Like once again, it is what it is. Like, am I gonna tell someone they can't play with their toys because they're recasted? No. Trying to word this nicely. Yeah, I will never stop someone playing if someone else has them. Whatever. I don't. Yeah, I don't have them. I won't have them. what someone else does is what someone else does. Anyway, don't be sorry, man. It is a genuine question. I get all the points for, against. I understand all parts of it, and I can understand everyone's views on it. So, I won't tell you what to do with your money. Yeah, there is a lot of metal kits for Scryer. Now, alternate minis, we can talk about that. I really do like the Punga miniatures that have brought out a bunch of cool alternate minis for Ratman. There's a bunch of great like alternate mini companies out there. Yeah, there's some really cool alternate mini. But yeah, so people also voted on this army. Now, apparently, I've got to do a 24-hour challenge with some Stormcast as well. So we got to get organizing that. Yeah, no, not. Bart Van Kessel. So there is a web app on Warhammer Community called War Scroll Builder that is free. It is a web app, but it's great. It's the most up-to-date thing. I would definitely give that a look. Bye, hello world. Thanks for joining us while you can, buddy. See you if you pop in again. No, so yeah, Donald. Not all metals went to Finecast. Finecast was a select range of miniatures. I believe the plan was originally to change them all. However, they obviously had quite a bit of negative feedback over Finecast, and I believe that sort of plan to. And they had advances in plastic as well. Like they no longer needed to have Finecast. Like Finecast with like how plastic is nowadays, they just don't need it at all. Yeah. Malachus on Seraphon, he's no longer like a character currently. What you could use that model though is a Dreadlord on Black Dragon. That's exactly what I would use the old Malachus on Seraphon model as. He is literally a Dreadlord on Black Dragon. Yeah, War Scroll Builder is great. The Azir's useful when you're more into the game. Like when you're thinking about lists and you need something quick, that's when Azir is really good. When it's updated. I've not had a good track record of that lately. Yeah. So another reason why I'm painting the Wanderers is I put up a poll a little while ago on an army that I should paint next. Yeah, there are some errors in Warscroll Builder. Like, it's not perfect. There's not many though. Like, you should be fine. If you're just doing it for a bit of cash. Keep forgetting to highlight the fronts of the hoods. God dang it. Yeah, Warscroll Builder is solid. All of them are great. Yeah. If you have any problems, you can, like, if you have any issues you find with it, reach out to the guy or Warhammer community. Normally, Twitter's pretty easy to contact him. I can't remember his actual Twitter, actually. So, no help there. But yeah, you can find ways to contact if you find issues with it that he will fix. Yeah. Just double check with your battle tome. But yeah, for the thing you're using it for, you won't have any issues because you're just trying to figure out some points, like a rough estimate of what you've got. So, ugh. Almost finished all these cloaks. I've got about 15 to go. Another 50. And then we'll put our glaze down on them. And then we can start on the next part. They are slowly getting there. So I did put up a poll for the army I'm going to be doing after this one as well. I like to have all my projects like planned out in order that I'm going to do it. So the one after this, I'm actually going to be doing. I've got some old Glade Riders I've converted in or begun converting into Pistoliers, and so I'm going to run a Pistolier Tempest Eye army using converted Glade Riders. So they're going to be Elven Pistoliers, Wood Elf Pistoliers. Which should be like a bit of fun. Conversions, bit of a different sort of list to play around with. I think what I'd like in the end is to have like a Cities of Sigmar list ready for every city. So I've got my Hammerhall army, I've got my Anvilguard army. I'm now doing Living City. I mean, I've got my Harkuron force. So yeah, all my Pistoliers will be Glade Riders. Don't know where I've put them. I got them somewhere. There will be some KO in there. A couple of, probably, if there's KO in that army, it'll probably be a couple of Grunstock gun haulers because I'm building around the battalion. Nate, nice to see you there, buddy. I am doing all right. Tired and a bit sore. But very excited. I'm excited with how the GT is going to go. No, sounds great to me. Sounds great to me, Dirty. I like the idea of that. I would love to see it. Mate of mine, good mate of mine, Mr. AOS Coach, has literally done that where he's taken everything he wants to play in cities but converted them into free guild variants. So everything is human in his army. I reckon there would be some cool conversions, man. I would love to see them done. Slowly getting there with these highlights. We're almost done this first lot. And then we can, like I said, we can chuck our glaze on when we're done. And then we can start working on the next part. So how I like to batch paint. Now, this may work for some, it may not work for others. I generally have to be a bit needy when I batch paint. But how I do it is I generally get one area, I finish it, then move on to the next. So at the moment, I'm doing all the cloaks on all of them, and I will do the cloaks up to the final bit. And then I'll start on the next part. What this helps me do when I batch paint is it allows me to keep seeing that there's been progress made on my models. So I don't put down all my base coats at once. I don't put down all my layers at once. I do cloaks. I do my metals. I do my skin. I do everything in stages. Going for an hour, that means reveals are roughly about an hour and a half, hour and 45 away. So that will be great. Look forward to them. Board Game Buff, nice to see you there. Hello, James. Good morning, buddy. What forsaken hour is it over there for you? I hope you're doing well, buddy. Do you know in that army will Cursed City Undead be? Do you mean what army Cursed City Undead will be? I'm going to assume they're going to be Soulblight gravelords. That would be my assumption on where we're going to be able to use the Cursed City models. Oh, 10th wedding anniversary yesterday. Congratulations, buddy. 10th is a nice big number. We had our first this year. Just a little while after you, mate. Got a long road to go before 10. But so what did you get up to for your anniversary? Anything special? I should say there are 48 of these Wild Rangers because I'm going to use 2 of my old BSBs as banners in the unit, just for sake of getting some cool models on the table. So yeah, for what have you been working on lately, James? Still working on some Hakuron stuff. Slowly making my way through them. But yeah, so my last couple of days have been organizing and getting my tournament ready for ticket sales to go live next Sunday night, which should be a ton of fun. Really looking forward to putting my event on the map and the calendar, remaking it something special is what I hope. Sketching some designs for next vid. Nice, Nate. Good to see you there, man. That's nice. Like, dude, nights like that are so important, mate. You're 10 years in, I'm 1 year in. I'm sure there's others in the chat that are however many years in, married to their partners, or even just girlfriends, whatever. There's nothing more important than just a night without the kids. Like, I love my kids, but there are nights like just being able to go out with my wife, not have to worry about them making a mess, them crying, anything, just getting quality time with the wife. It is the best. Like, what sort of restaurant did you go to, buddy? Ugh. Yuck, Nate. Yuck. You gotta do it sometime, man. You know, I mean, it's easier said than done for others. You know, I'm really lucky. All my family lives really close to me and the wife, so Speaking of like food, the local like Chinese shop near me just put out like a thing for like banquets. Me and the wife want to go and have one of their banquets. But also they have deep fried Mars bar ice cream that I really want to try. Nice, yeah. Yeah, it's harder when the family doesn't live close. Nice seafood and steakhouse. Oh, nice, yeah. Yeah, because you're moving down south, aren't you? When's the reveal, Nicholas? It's in about an hour and a half from now. We're just hanging and chatting away in the meantime. Paint your crematorians, awesome. Should definitely share some pictures of them over on the Discord. Love me some good OBR. Got my little OBR painted behind here. Got to finish up the rest of that army. Currently working my way through a ton of wildwood ranges, Nicholas. A bunch of these to get done. The core part of an army. Yeah, Cities of Sigmar. So I put this up as a poll on the channel, and this is what people voted for. They want to see a living city army, so I'm going for an army focusing around the Viridian Pathfinders Battalion, and then adding a couple of tree spirits to the army. Stretch for a little bit. Loosen up those hand muscles. Important when you're doing nice big batches of painting to just stretch every now and again. Don't cramp up. Especially since I've hurt my freaking back. Woke up on Monday morning and I could not move my neck like 10 degrees. That's better. Alright. Under 10 left to highlight now. Posted your Discord in your Rune Lord in the Discord. Ugh. I think that's perfectly fine there, J Dirty. I think that's a great looking conversion of a Rune Lord. I don't see any reason you would ever have an issue. But yeah, Nicholas, I like to play armies that people don't play lots. It's like I'll play Cities of Sigmar, but my favorite Cities of Sigmar army is using Anvil Guard with like pure Scourge Privateers. Maybe a Sorceress in there too, but vast majority Scourge. But as I was saying before, Woodels were my very first fantasy army way back when, so I want to give the army a go in AOS proper. Nice. Yeah, no. It's completely fair. I see no reason why your conversion would have any issues ever. Looks very solid. And hello to everyone new joining us live watching. If you are watching, let us know where you're watching from and what you're hobbying on, and what you'd like to see in the Games Workshop reveals tonight. Pretty much, just come join in the conversation. Yeah, for me, crematorians are cool. Like, they're definitely one of the ones I'm looking at for my own OBR. Ugh. No new releases, Nate, but we're waiting for the reveal show. So there's reveals on later tonight. In Games Workshop, we'll be getting Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, and Warhammer Underworlds shown off tonight. And James, yes, I am going to grab a box of Piety and Pain. Quite keen for some Sisters of Battle. Water Fater, watching from Germany. Nice, mate. What is it? I'm trying to remember my German. I can't remember what good afternoon is in German. I know it's Guten, or Guten, however you say it. I know Guten Morgen is good morning, and Guten Nacht is good night. I don't know what good afternoon is. I learned German for a brief period at school. Guten Abend. Guten Abend. Cool. Thought it was something like that. I was going. More from Germany. Greetings there, everyone. Guten Tag. It's been a while since I did German. So we won't go too far into how terrible my German is. German class mostly spent time with me remembering how to count numbers and watching Inspector Rex, which is the greatest show ever in German history. I love Inspector Rex. If anyone knows what Inspector Rex is, then good. And Poland, as always, JW. Oh, Star Wars Legion. I've been meaning to have a look at Star Wars Legion. There's just always more Warhammer to do, unfortunately. Hey, to me, a uncultured Australian, Inspector Rex is the only thing I know that comes out of Germany besides Wacken Open Air Festival. I know two things about Germany. Oh, and obviously I know soccer. I'm a big soccer fan, so I know a little bit about sports ball in Germany. Wait, there's a spin-off series of Inspector Rex? Okay, I need to go find this on SBS. Rex in Rome. Okay, this is a thing I need to go see. Yeah, like Rammstein. Not my favorite German band. I mean, if we're going to pick favorite German bands, it's got to be Powerwolf. If it's German metal, it's got to be Powerwolf for me. I love some good power metal, and Powerwolf is certainly a good power metal band. Powerwolf is Polish. Yeah, sorry, no, Powerwolf is Polish, aren't they? Yeah. Oh, Heaven Shall Burn. Yep, I have seen Heaven Shall Burn a few times live. They toured they opened for Trivium here once, and they've come down twice to Soundwave. So I do like Heaven Shall Burn. Blind Guardian. That's the other one I was trying to think of. I'm like, I know the Bard Song and Valhalla. Is Sabaton German? Is Sabaton German? No, I think that's entirely wrong, isn't it? If you enjoy Disturbed, you'll like Powerwolf. They're a bit more, I guess, power than Disturbed, but very like your next sort of step. Sabaton is Swedish. Okay, cool. Wasn't sure. I've only listened to a little bit of Sabaton. I'm so out of touch with like music scenes now. I'm glad that I've created a following of people who like very similar music to what I like. Yeah, cool. Sabaton is Swedish. Cool. I wasn't sure. Now I can't remember how to say the name. Die Apocalypse Dorita. Did I get that anywhere near right? Powerwolf. If Powerwolf for any band, any like Warhammer 40k thing, Powerwolf are certainly Space Wolves, aren't they? Like that's their whole gimmick, isn't it? They're werewolves that sing power metal. Like that's Space Wolves entirely there, isn't it? But then I guess yeah, okay, I can sort of get where you're coming from there. All right. From across the pond, I'm talking with a bunch of Scandinavian people, so it is all metal. Yeah, Powerwolf's gimmick is like, aren't they? They're werewolves. That's the gimmick. Hence the name of the band, and like you got songs of like, what is it? Werewolves of Armenia and all that sort of stuff. Evil Church, so the Imperium. Okay, yeah. Okay, Nicholas, you got me, buddy. All right, we're going to play a game. Seeing as we have a bunch of fun metal fans in the chat. So we're going to play a game. I'm going to say an Age of Sigmar army, and I want you to give me a metal band that epitomizes that army. All right? Do we reckon we can do this? I'm going to say an Age of Sigmar army, and I want people to give me a band that epitomizes that army. That would like play them into battle. All right, so let's start with something easy. It doesn't have to be metal band; it can be any sort of music. Oh, Byzantine, nice. One of my local guys. If you're really into like extreme metal, you should check out Voros. Voros. Good mate of mine is the lead singer for them. They're an Adelaide band, so definitely go check out Voros. Voros. If you like, they're like math, deathcore. I don't really know, like really, really heavy stuff. So if you like that, anyway. So let's start off this little game. This will pass the time until the reveal show. Stormcast Eternals. What band epitomizes Stormcast Eternals? Go. Bonus points if it's a metal band. We'll get to them. Wait, Bart. We'll get to them. Tier? Yeah? Okay. Epica? Oh, okay. As much as I like Epica, they definitely... I mean, I can sort of see why Epica, because Epica is all about freedom of thought. Nah, they're not Stormcast, because Epica's whole thing is freedom of thought. That freedom of thought is Epica's whole thing they sing about, is whether religious or non-religious. It's the ability to be able to make your own choices and live life how you wish to do it. Now, my shout for Stormcast Eternals has got to be a Monomath. They've got Twilight of the Thunder God. For me, I know they're not necessarily Vikings, but especially all the Thor themed songs, like Twilight of the Thunder God, and even you can imagine insert of Falconer's Gold. It's the song searching for Galmaraz. Replace Fastener's Gold with Galmaraz, and you got a pretty epic Stormcast song. What could be something else? So, any other suggestions for Stormcast Eternals? Or do we move on to the next one? Yeah. See, that's my thing. It's not that Stormcast... a Monomath certainly fit Stormcast Eternals, but I think they fit somewhere else better. All right. Okay, yeah, Mana Wars is definitely a good shout there, Manuel. Definitely Mana War as a shout. All right. We'll move on to the next army. So, what about Ideneth Deepkin? Let's change the mood here. We've gone from heroic warriors to something more gloomy. Are we going to be thinking doom metal, or something gothic metal? So Ideneth Deepkin. Gumlass, Faith Tonight definitely has to be those redemptionists, surely. I do agree completely on that. So yeah, Ideneth Deepkin, give me those metal bands that represent Ideneth Deepkin. And AC/DC, that's a good shout for the Stormcast. You can imagine some Stormcast kicking back, about to go kick some Chaos butt with Highway to Hell. Yeah, yeah, I'd be interested to hear everyone's thoughts on yeah, okay. I think going back to our previous one, I think AC/DC has stuck for Stormcast Eternal. Like Thunderstruck. Yeah. Okay. Hollow Vessels for Ironeth? Not sure I know that one. Ironeth, so what do I think? Something gloomy. Within Temptation, yeah, like some goth rock. Oh no! I know what Slaanesh is. Slaanesh is Steel Panther. Like, there's no argument on this one, is there? Slaanesh is Steel Panther or like Edguy. Like, Edguy have a story called Lavatory Love Machine. That is Slaanesh. 9 Inch Dan, you came in at right. The reveal show is probably in just about an hour-ish. At the moment, we're playing a fun little game. I'm naming a Warhammer Age of Sigmar army, and everyone in the chat is giving me a metal band they think is right for the band, for the army, that represents that army. We've come to the agreement that Stormcast Eternals get played by AC/DC into battle. Marilyn Manson, yeah. Disposable Teens is a perfect song to represent for NFT kin because they're literally like disposable. To checklist anyway. Yeah, like Slaanesh, like do we right? All right, let's get this out of the way. Slaanesh, what army represents Slaanesh? Because I'm going Steel Panther all the way, like, or Edguy. Steel Panther and Edguy are my picks for Slaanesh. For those who don't know who Edguy is, like, go check out Edguy. They're not quite as satire and comical as Steel Panther, but a very decent band. I reckon Edguy are great. Thoroughly enjoy them. All right, so Slaanesh is. I think we've all agreed on this one. No worry, Dan. Oops. See you in a bit. All right, let's change it up. Anthony B, nice to see you there, mate. We're playing a game, so I'm naming an Age of Sigmar army, and everyone in the chat is trying to put a metal band to the army for a bit of fun while we wait for the. All right. So next army. Let's go. All right, next army, let's go Sylvaneth. Like, for Sylvaneth, for me, like, we got to be going into, like, folk metal here, don't we? We got to be thinking someone like Elven King or Ulivetier. I've probably butchered that name with my terrible English. Or In Extremo. Sylvaneth is the army, Nicholas. We're looking at Sylvaneth now. So definitely going into like some folk metal here, aren't we? Manuel, Ailstorm aren't. Ailstorm are without a doubt like Scourge Privateers. Fawn, Twilight Force. Nice. Yeah. My picks for Sylvaneth, like I'm going like Ilivete, Elven King. Like Elven King, I think is a great fit. Shamrock, Cathedral, Forest of Equilibrium. Yeah, like a decent shout. All right. Does anyone here actually know Elven King besides me? Because if you like a little bit of a like folk metalcore, Elven King are great. So, all right, what have we got next? We've done Chaos, we've done Elven King are cool. Like their new stuff's gone much back. Like they're finally gone back to like their very early stuff. They're a lot more folky now. Like they've gone through that sort of pop rock metalcore stage they had, and they're going back to like that folky sound again. Yeah, Ulivete, definitely one that I've been thinking of, Dirty. Even like newer Nightwish. All right, so we've done Chaos. Yeah, Helan. I probably butchered that name terribly. All right, let's go for something destruction. Give me a metal band. Metal band for Ogre Moor tribes. What do the dad bods get? Now, do we go something like the side of go like make them dad bod the band in so they're Slayer? Ogre Moor tribes. See, Ogre Moor tribes are. I'm thinking tribal. Like big sort of booming sound is one. Like Manowar almost fit them in like. Big booming sound is what I think like more tribes need. Yeah, Soulfly is a decent shout. I mean, if you go on Soulfly, you could always like say like Cavalera Conspiracy in the same sentence, really, can't you? I can see why. Yeah, Machine Head, like that's the sort of sound of Machine Head are far too like religious themed, though. I think. Yeah, alien weaponry. They're from New Zealand. Am I correct, Anthony? I first got a whiff of them when, like I can imagine like a butcher screaming like "Roots, bloody roots" from Sepultura. All right. Well, let's go on to the only Grand Alliance we haven't touched then next. Seeing as they might be revealed tonight. Give me an army for Soulblight and Gravelords. For Soulblight. Give me an army. Give me a band for the army Soulblight. That's all right, Anthony. Yeah, pretty sure I know who Alien Weaponry are. I've heard a little bit of their stuff. I first heard them from. They were like the band for NXT Takeover. One of them, not too late last year, where I first heard them, or early last year maybe. Typo negative. 3 days grace because vampires are edgy. Yeah. I mean, can we go past like Evanescence? Like, isn't that like the epitome of like goth rock? And that's all the vampires are all about, isn't it? Yeah, like Ghost are another good shout. I still don't think it can be Evanescent. I mean, or dare I say it, there's one Paramore song. There's Decode by Paramore that literally is a vampire movie. I mean, it's Sparkle Fairy vampires, but Chris Weir emo, it has to be emo. I mean, okay. And nice to see you there, Christian. Yeah, like Evanescence for me. Like if it's vampires, it's Evanescence. That's or something like Atreyu would be another good one. All right, we are done all hunting. All right, so now I just need to grab a glaze. All right, so more coffee in my system is needed. All right, we'll go back to order. Give me a band for the army Lumineth Realm Lords. Like, so here's what I'm thinking for Lumineth Realm Lords. They've got to have like some they've got to be like some sort of progressive band that plays in like all their different sort of sounds and, you know, swap bars and have offbeat kicks. And doesn't use a snare as the beat driver. Something. Jay Durthy, you hit exactly where I was going with my conversation. Dream Theater, Lumineth Realm Lords, Dream Theater. They're like, or Tool, or, you know, even Nightwish, something like that, where the band is purposely just not playing normal music. Like you can't headbang to it because it's just off tempo. It's in like a, you know, some stupid weird thing like a 3/8 That's what I'm thinking for like Lumineth. You know, some weird thing. Although, like, does Epica fit the bill for them? Because Epica is all about like designing your own universe and becoming like the best of yourself, whatever path that may take. But then again, Lumineth sort of try to not be that. So I guess that doesn't make. A 1-7 in a time signature. Right? We're not going to turn into one of those vocal reaction channels, but I don't even want to say how like. Anyway, I studied music for a little bit, so I'm a little bit inclined to musical theory and stuff. Oh, I like Dream Theater a lot, but like that is what they play. Like, it is ridiculous. Time signatures and stuff like that makes it like extremely talented to be able to play that sort of stuff. Make no mistake of how I feel on that end about them. Oh, Eumetrica, yeah. Eumetrica is just like every deep South American singer. Every like Billy Ray Cyrus. I'm singing Eumetrica, I love Eumetrica. Montitude. Greetings, mate. Nice to see you there from Switzerland. We got a little bit of everyone. All right. So we've done Lumineth. So what do we jump into after Chaos? All right. Give me a band that represents the Chaos Army. Zinch. Or Tesnich, Zenich, however you wish to say it. Why the Who for Zinch? Born of Osiris. Black Sabbath. Yeah, okay. Why Black Sabbath? Montitude. Okay, yeah, no, I can appreciate that. Just to most of the work. It's got Rings of Saturn. Is Zinch just crazy and you don't know whether you should hate it or love it? Yeah, like actually no. I think you're onto a winner there, Christian. I think a mass band. I think Slipknot's a great one. Also because Corey Taylor doesn't know like where he stands on half his things. He changes his mind every 2 seconds. I don't know, but like every time I like think of like Zinch. I imagine like a singer for a Zinch band sounds exactly like King Diamond. Like if they had a singer for Zinch, it would be like King Diamond fronting that band without a doubt. All right, a Zinch, like, because they like to. People who recognize the name King Diamond make me happy. Like that, people realize who that man is and how awesome King Diamond is. Shaped a generation of metalheads. All right, so let's go on to destruction again. Give me an army, or give me a band for the army Gloomspite Gits. All right, a Gloomspite Gits Mushroom Head. Like, is that the obvious one that we go down? I mean, just because mushrooms. You know what I'm happy about in this chat? I'm seeing names of metal bands I haven't listened to in ages pop up, and you're all making me go download some more music onto my playlist. Yeah, reveal's about 20-25 minutes away. I've got it up on the screen now. I'll see as soon as it goes live. And if I don't, someone shout at me saying it's starting. By shout, I mean write in caps in the chat. But yeah, give me a band for Gloomspite Gits everyone. That's the one we're looking for now. Yeah, Necrogoblin. Like it's literally fronted by a goblin. Halloween, yeah, I can see that one. Like Clow. Okay, that's an interesting one to invade. I have never heard of that band, so it's another one added to the playlist for later. Twisted Sister. All right. We seem to be getting somewhere on Gloomspite. So let's go back to Death. Ossiarch Bone Reapers. I want a band for Ossiarch Bone Reapers. Nugrius. I'm not going to say that one out loud, but yes. Yes, okay. Just give me 1 sec. Sorry, guys. Keep going with those Ossiarch Bone Reapers. I've just got to reply to something that's happening on one of the Facebook groups. Ossiarchs, yeah. All right. We seem to be dying on the Ossiarch Bone Rippers. So what about... Let's go order. People were clamoring for it before, so let's go Daughters of Cain. Give me a band for Daughters of Cain. And explain to me why you've picked your choice. Yeah, let's get something. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to respond to one of my admins doing something on one of the groups for me. People can't behave. I'll go with that. But anyway, yeah, some sort of like Daughters of Cain, like some sort of heavy rock with like female vocals. So what about something like Lacuna Coil for Daughters of Cain? Arch enemy? Yeah, no, arch enemy. Lacuna Coil are effectively the sound that Evanescence took, but not quite as heavy. The latest album is really, really good. Poppy, yeah, Poppy. About like the agonist as well. If we're going arch enemy, do we go by like Alyssa White Glove's previous band, or is Amaranth heavy enough, or are they too like odd, sort of a bit all over the place with their sound? I mean, yeah, Raining Blood. Nah. If we're talking Raining Blood, it's not Doc we're talking about. It's another blood obsessed army. Ginger, yeah, not Ginger. Can definitely see Ginger. All right. Going back into Chaos. GG6 from Amaranth, but the singer is Marathi, the Shadow Queen. Yep. All right. Chaos. Let's get it over and done with because there's going to be a bunch of amazing bands that you're going to all say for this one. So, Slaves to Darkness. Give me a band for them. And why is it not a Monomath? Why are they not riding to battle like with Pursuit of Vikings playing in the background? No, I've just got that like opening riff, like dun 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 dun, stuck in my head. Run to the Hills is what everyone versing Archaon hears and sings. Because they're all running to the hills. Yeah, like I could hear only for the week. Or Trigger. I mean, Teresis and Battle Metal is a pretty good fit. I can just imagine like all the Chaos Warriors chanting Battle Metal. There's been a good, solid bit of fun, I think, to pass the time this little game. We'll have to come up with a game. Maybe next time we do one of these reveal show ones, we'll do the 40k armies. But for now, we'll stick Age of Sigmar. Slaves to Darkness. Give me. Are we pretty set on like what it is like? It's a monomath, isn't it? I think. All right, so we'll go back into death. Night Haunt. Give me a band for the Ghosty Boys. And my pick is going to be Dimmu Borgir. Which army now, Manuel? We are doing. Oh, okay. They've got their screen changed over there on Open Damnation. We're doing Night Haunt now. Getting close, I think, to our preview show going live. Yeah, Cradle feels like her Ghost in the Fog from Cradle would be a great pick. I think we found our thing we're going to do every hobby chat now. We're gonna try and apply metal bands to something in the Warhammer universe. This has been a good bit of fun. I have thoroughly enjoyed this. Yeah, like I could see My Chemical Romance, like the Black Parade, like join the Black Parade. What metal band expresses a dry brush? Oh, okay. Warhammer is live with Faye. Maybe we'll save that one for next time, Christian. Yeah. It's starting soon, so we got that up now at least anyway. All right, so game's over. We're up to the thing. What are your predictions? What are we going to see? What is going to happen? What is coming? Also, we'll probably just right. Can people let me know when the sound gets too much and when you can actually hear it? Is it too high now, or is it too low? Let me know how the sound for the stream goes. If that's too high, let me know. I apologize to eardrums. If it's too low, let me know, so I can adjust the sound so everyone can hear. I don't care about them talking. Cool. So I'm just going to turn it up a little bit so you guys can hear, just so I know where I'm going for when I turn it down to be able to talk over. Now, how is that? Is that too loud? I apologize if I've just blown out someone's ears. Is that too loud? Cool. Cool. All right. Cool. I'll turn that right to attempt. So I'm just going to turn it off for now. We don't need to hear that right now. But when they start, I think I've got my sound levels on my thing to where they need to be for the show. Cool. Awesome. So yeah, get those predictions in. What are we going to see tonight? Cool. Yeah. I think that's the point. Like, I want to be able to be heard over it. And like, I can hear it a lot louder than you guys can hear it. So, which means I can relay important information, at least that they say. I mean, they just waffle on talking about how everything's super cool. So I don't think you're missing much. I'll give you my expert opinions of everything that is released. I'm just kidding. I know, absolutely. Third Ed teaser. Yeah, see, that is not something I predicted. So I think I've got my little prediction video. Maybe I'll go back through it. Like, this one was a bit harder because I'm not as in tune with 40k as I am Age of Sigmar. I've started getting a little bit more into it, but I'm nowhere near as in tune with that as I am with Age of Sigmar. Okay, my ear is very close to the ground for Age of Sigmar, and 40k I do not. But thank you to everyone who is here watching with us. It's been a productive night. I've got my cloaks entirely done on 48 Wildwood Rangers here. Which is the single largest part of the model done. Oh, nice, Bart. That's great, man. Well, I'm glad you're here, buddy, and joining with us here. Remember, if you haven't already, guys, there should be a link to our Discord server, either now or after the stream. Go jump in our Discord server and come chat more. How's that going? Progress. I have 3 more to finish the cloaks on, to put my glaze on the cloaks. Yeah, jump in our Discord server, man. Come chat more. You won't miss anything that we do on the channel that way. Hobby Hangouts. There's plenty of people that you'll see chatting here. Are in our Discord. Our own little corner of the interwebs. Jay Durthu, I'm glad you have joined, man. Like, I thoroughly enjoy all our time we get together. Warhammer is great though. Like, the community for the vast majority is absolutely amazing. All right, just before this starts, I'm going to quickly go disappear to the toilet. So I'll leave you with the amazing Games Workshop music. Oh, okay, it started. Okay, maybe I won't. Oh, looks like I'm sitting here.
Yeah, it's very well, Adam.
Cool.
To be here as always. Looking forward to another awesome preview. I think we've got some. We know what's coming a little bit. We've got some very cool stuff. I think fans of multiple game systems will be very pleased with.
All right, so it's starting.
How are you this fight?
They're just doing their little introductions, and with that, I finished the cloaks on the Wild Rangers.
So highlight to nerd out, talk about all the Warhammer stuff that we've seen coming on, and spend some time just basking in the joy of it all.
There are far worse ways to spend an hour than just seeing new cool Warhammer stuff and chatting.
Yeah, you're not wrong at all. And speaking of worse ways to spend an hour and good company, we are of course joined by masses of Warhammer fans from around the world. If you've joined us, you're sat there in the chat. Thank you for coming and spending some time with us. And thank you for joining us wherever in the world you are. My favourite thing to do, I always do it, is ask you where you're from. You can answer in the chat. Tell us
they're asking where everyone's from. So, shout out from wherever the world you are watching tonight, the Warhammer reveals.
So, here we go. There we go. Gold Coast, Australia, Cornwall. Couldn't get more opposite than that. Serbia, Italy, Pennsylvania in the US. You've got Michigan out there in the United States as well. Cadia. I love a bit of Cadia. Why not? So, obviously, we've got a full slate of things to cover off. But what have you been up to, Eddie?
So hobby-wise, I've been a kind of mixed bag of stuff, I guess, really. So usually around this time of year,
I'll be back in 2 seconds before they start the preview.
A little bit about this before we started, but there isn't really a thing on my calendar yet, and I'm hoping that we'll get to play some real games with a tense for the end of the year. At the moment, I haven't got a specific project, so I've just been picking up stuff I like the look of and painting it. So quite a lot of stuff for Age of Sigmar for free cities. We've got some different kits together to kind of customize my own, quite inspired by what Chris Peachy has been doing with some of his free city stuff. And then for Warhammer 40,000, I'm still working on the big guy. So Squiggoth's coming along. He's like you can't quite tell, but he's got about 4 more layers of highlights on him than we did last time we had a preview. But he's very big. He's taking maybe longer than I thought he would take.
The interesting thing about
Shout out where you're from in this chat, all the same there, Arnold. Alrighty.
Well, it's definitely in 10 months. So basically, I think I bought him in like 2019, and he'd sort of been sitting in a bag, sort of quietly judging me for not painting him for years. And then during lockdown, I was like, well, it seems like a thing. So I've been painting him, I think, since January this year. So we'll get there eventually. He's great. Just a couple more months.
I just admire the dedication. I have a system when it comes to sort of hobby projects that no one project should take more than a week. So no one kit. So I tend to attack certain stuff. You get a lovely result on your stuff. So I admire the dedication it takes to take your squeaks to that level. In terms of what I've been doing hobby-wise, I'm actually going to divert from my normal sort of building painting and so on. I've just finished this last week the latest Beckring.
I haven't listened to it yet.
I will offer you no spoilers whatsoever. But, obviously, I work with it, but you expect me to say nice things about our products. But I have to give a huge shout out to the quality of that book. I listen to the audio because I'm finding myself running lots of errands and going to walks and such. I'll tell you what,
Alright. So, last chance, everyone. Get in those predictions. What are we going to see in the reveal show? Last chance to get those predictions in.
You probably owe it to yourself to do so. They're all on, various audio listenable systems. Or you can read the papers. They're so good. And this one, so this is like, if you follow the continuous story, I guess we're in book 8. It's so enjoyable.
8.5, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
So what I've been doing, so I was also equally excited about that. I've actually started re-listening to the entirety of the Eisenhorn and Ravener story arc right from the beginning, from Xenos. So I'm about almost done with the Eisenhorn books, moving on to the Ravener books, and then moving into the miscellaneous case files, as it were. Begin. So I've got maybe about a month or so off.
OBR archers. I mean, I think we're going to see at least one OBR archer, Kevin.
Avoid the internet and spoilers and stuff. Don't type in any of the keywords that you might expect to find, because there is a plot twist and a reveal in Penitent that you want to hit you originally. And in the chat,
Oh.
Speaking of the chat, I saw loads more places that people are from. People.
Give me a sec, Jay Dirty.
I think he said in sunny Ireland, which just sounds like a lovely way to be spending the day. Thank you again for joining us.
All right.
Comment in the chat if you're a subscriber to our channel, and you can do that either using like a regular.
Give me a sec.
You can use a Prime subscription. If you have an
To see the chat, I just have to do something.
I'd love to hear what you have to say. There is, however, like thousands of you, so I'll only be able to do my best. If you see me glancing everything,
All right.
I'm looking at the chat.
I can now
I'll do my best.
see my chat, and hopefully that screen is a lot bigger for all of you.
Not to cover them all. And in terms of, you said, am I still subscribed? The answer is yes, because I saw your question. So, what's the format for how this is going to work? Have you got 10 minutes?
Sure. Yeah. So we've had a few of these previews over the past year or so. I think this is almost, a year on the nose since the very first online preview that we did. So we've been doing this for a whole year now, Adam. So it's been a pleasure spending the past 12 months.
All right, that should be better now for you, JJ, I think, hopefully. Manuel, thank you for hanging out with us, buddy. We will catch up again soon. Hope to see you again. Don't forget to drop a like if you're watching. It all helps people find the channel more. Subscribe as well if you haven't already. And come join us on Discord.
Sigmar, a few bits for some of the other smaller games.
Awesome.
Just a
Cool.
bucket load of cool Warhammer stuff to talk about and show you guys. You can also follow along with the announcements on the Warhammer community website. So we'll be showing you lots of videos and pictures and stuff. You don't feel you need to kind of
Cool. That is awesome.
The community website sooner rather than later. So just sit back and enjoy it. If you're a subscriber, as you say, Adam, comment away and let us know how excited you are.
Yes.
That's generally it. Really, just sit back and enjoy some cool Warhammer.
The chat has got off on a funny tangent about both my backdrop and the fact they can't see my back garden anymore, for which I make very little apology. But thank you for the nice things about my backdrop. I had some time of work, but I have some shelves. My most thing I enjoyed most was being able to put my armies on display. I have 3 shelves. Oh, I've got that reverse angle thing going on. This side, I've got 3 shelves of Dark Angels. So the bottom 2 shelves are my Primaris Dark Angels that I've been painting since lockdown, actually. So 2 full shelves of
all right. Back and ready for zombies, Dan? Yeah. Get those predictions in now, guys. Last chance. What you get for winning, if you get the most predictions right, what you get is my everlasting love. We'll go with that. My everlasting love if you get everything right. If we get Eldar shown in the Warhammer 40k, I will squeal like a little schoolgirl for you all. Be prepared. If you see Eldar, probably turn your sound right down.
What hobby stuff are you up to just now? What projects have you got going on? What are you building? What are you painting?
So we've got all the cloaks done on all the Wildwood Ranges.
7 minutes before the preview, so we've got a little bit of time just to chat general Warhammer.
Oh, there we go. It's exploded. We've got people working on. Oh, I'm never going to keep up. A good look. Painting Figurious, Black Templar. Somebody said 20 Zephyrim. Potato peeling for dinner. Do you know what? If that's what gets you permission to watch the preview, you do the thing. Somebody says come to Brazil, which sounds like an awesome invitation. I'd love to one day. Show the doggo. Maybe not. I think he's downstairs with my wife. 40 Blade Guys. 41. Is that one big batch of 40? If it is, there is some pure dedication. Killzone scenery. It's a massive backlog. I had a scenery painting session a while ago. You can see bits and pieces of it in the shelves behind me. Do you paint much scenery, Eddie?
So generally, when I've painted scenery, it's because we've had a tournament or a campaign or something. So I haven't for the past.
Just give me Dwarden.
You do Army on Parade entries.
Sorry, I do Army on Parade. That's true. But the last.
But yeah, so let's all get our predictions in.
Lots of,
I'm excited to see what we're going to see. I think we're going to see Sister Battle. We'll see something for Admech. I was hoping maybe Admech for Necromunda was my prediction. We're going to see the new expansion for Cawdor, a new box set I reckon for Cawdor for Necromunda, Soulblight Gravelords, maybe some more stuff from Broken Realms Bellicor, Sister Battle, maybe Tyranids as well. We've had a few rumor engines that look like Tyranids, so maybe we'll see that.
Yeah, I mean your Orc Force engines look pretty good. We played the indoor version called Arena. And yeah, you came on with a strong Orc Force that looked pretty good. And for the first turn or two, as we positioned, I was like, "Oh, this looks great!" You know, troops firing down corridors at each other, and then you just slammed the door.
And then the war hits. It was the guy with the Scorcher. I think he's the man of the match. Every game I play with him, he's where it's at.
Yeah, in the chat we've got Chaos Titanicus, We've got making deeply involved Mechanicus kit badges until we get a codex, after which I'll continue making deeply involved Mechanicus kit badges.
That sounds a little bit heretical. You've got to stay within the boundaries of what the machine gun allows there.
No, I like it. Go mad. Painting Death Knights, somebody after my own heart. Well done. The chat is just going wild. It's so good having you all here. It's been interesting seeing the sort of things we play the same sort of game. We sort of wish list the things we'd like to see when one of these preview comes up. I think there's been a few clues, hasn't there, with the sort of miniature reveal Mondays and stuff as well.
Yeah, so I think what we like to do is give people a little bit of a taste of what they might have coming. And I think some people on...
Yeah, so I wonder what Gravelord's big centerpiece. I mean, is it just Nagash? But what else are they going to have? I mean, like, we knew we were getting Sigmar, but we also got, like, Glutos, so... be awesome to see what we're going to get.
We've got... somebody says, hey, what's up with Broken Realm Techless? Maybe we'll answer you that question about it. Let's see that a little bit later on. Going on, but
Dreaming of Cities of Sigmar in the third ed set.
A little bit thrown into flux.
Yeah, so I think most people have probably spotted that for the past couple of weeks we haven't had any Games Workshop new releases, but this weekend that changes. If you go to gamesworkshop.com now, if you're in Europe or Asia or Australia, you can pick up all the new Drakari stuff, and there's a lot of it, including some Middle Earth stuff in there as well. And then in the US, I think it goes live in maybe about 5 hours or so. So not far off at all before you can get your hands on a whole bunch of new stuff. And this is like
I reckon a new starter set. I reckon we're going to have Lumineth in third ed starter box.
It is a real good. Thank you, Johnny Brown. That's a very kind thing to say. It's a real good week if you are a Middle Earth fan right now. I was socialising with my Middle Earth Strategy Battle game buddies recently, and they were hyped for Treebeard, the Fangorn Dice, and Quick Beam. So I will confess to already spent a little time and money on the Games Workshop website today, making sure that I get the dice, and then I've got myself a quick beam on the way, hopefully. But my good friend Keith Robinson of the Middle Earth team actually dropped me around in a socially distanced and safe way my very own Treebeard, which is probably going to be the rest of my weekend.
I think that's probably one of the nicest Middle Earth kits we've had in several years, but maybe one of the best ever. It's a very, very nice kit.
It's a difficult thing to say because they continue to raise the bar. I think between the kits they've done in 4-12 resin and the kits they've done in plastic since sort of the big relaunch and the move into the Middle Earth Strategy game, I think we've never had it better. That's what I would say in terms of the quality of the kits, the likenesses of the characters.
All right.
I want more and more all the time. I can't wait. This is my favourite. I think the Merry and Pippin on foot for it, they really capture something. I think it's Merry. He's got his hand on his hip. He's got the stone in quite a sort of cultural way. Really works for me.
Yeah, they definitely look like they've gained some confidence on their trip. They're definitely more than halfway through the film series. Very quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, I think my favourite actually, just thinking about, might be the EMA model. Model's pretty special. You don't have to pick a favourite. I know you love them all.
Yeah, I think out of the new plastics, it would be the Three Hunters. So Aragon, Legolas, and Gimli, because they are just perfect for that. Like they're the incarnation of that scene if they live off the boat and the Army of the Dead to but I think some of the resin stuff that we've done since the relaunch is really awesome. Actually, I really like it.
Yeah, new Stormcast book would be most welcome. Who knows? Maybe they left-hand us. Maybe we get a new Stormcast book instead of all this. No Soulblight Gravelords, but Stormcast.
We've got about a minute before we go.
Wouldn't that send the internet into hysteria?
I will again just remind everybody how this is going to work. We will show you some sort of video or something to segue into our reveals. We'll be here for the next hour or so talking about cool Warhammer stuff. I'll try and field your questions. And we should just have some awesome Warhammer time together. Welcome everybody to the Warhammer Preview Online, Faith and Damnation. We'll see you after this.
This is Gravelords. Yep, here the Gravelords are. Ooh, okay, new skeletons. Oh, those zombies are awesome. Felt. He fell back. You Blood Knights. Wow, they're beautiful. They're here.
What a reveal. I saw the chat going wild just before we went sort of into the full thing. Lots of people wanting Soulblight vampires. Eddie, they asked, it's been delivered.
Yes, this is the Soulblight gravelords. We had a hint of...
Oh, that battle tome is amazing.
We've seen on the way from Warhammer Quest Cursed City, which is imminent in any second now. That will be landing, but hot on the heels of Cursed City is the Soulblight gravelords.
That is such a nice battle tome cover.
Battle tome, including loads of new units. Lots of things that Death players have been asking for pretty much since the birth of Age of Sigmar, even longer in places. So a lot of those kind of like, wow, I hope one day they get around to this, boxes have been ticked. Multi-part plastic.
That is one of the
kits,
nicest
glorious,
battle champion.
And I think probably the most exciting of the new kits that's coming up, and probably the most requested, are the Blood Knights. Absolutely incredible, super heavy undead cavalry units of vampires.
Yeah, I mean, Blood Knights have sort of occupied a space in the heart of the sort of undead collectors of Warhammer for quite some time. Genuinely renowned as one of the nastiest.
My wallet just ran away.
Heavy cavalry units that there is across any of the incarnations of Warhammer. These do promise to be a genuine terror in the mortal realms, it's fair to say.
Yeah, I've got memories of facing off against Blood Knights towards the latter days of
Wow, they're amazing.
Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I just remember my units being completely steamrolled.
They are amazing, those Blood Knights.
The reason they're so completely deadly is that every single one of these is effectively a full-on Soulblight Gravelord vampire. So they are immortal warriors, which are probably hundreds of thousands of years old. The strength given to them by the unholy vampire curse, the power of Nagash flowing through their veins, mounted on kind of enormous skeletal nightmare steeds, and lots of kind of hints and things in there to some of the older models, so things like the blood dragons. You look at things like
wow, they're amazing. Like
that,
this is everything I wanted. Like
the bloody grail there, held in the claws of an undead dragon. But just everything about the models is like they're exactly what.
Just so nice. Everything about them.
Yeah, and if the chat is anything to go by, I think we're probably not alone. Of course, this wasn't the only thing we saw in that video, which is worth a quick look at.
New skeleton warriors.
When I saw that video yesterday afternoon, new Death Rattle skeletons is, for me, very exciting because I love the idea of just huge ranks of skeleton warriors silently marching forward, except for the clank of metal armor and the grinding of bones. And these guys are just awesome.
Yeah, a really, really awesome kit, and I think every time
I really like this kit, like new skeleton warrior.
They seem to be a little bit cooler than the last ones, and they always be like, oh, this must be the pinnacle now. So I remember the ones that came out for Warhammer Underworlds, and we were like, those are great, those are the best skeletons ever. And then we saw the ones in Cursed City.
These are really nice, the skeletons.
Absolutely.
They'll sit really nicely alongside the Cursed City skeletons if you end up having both. But obviously, when you have a skeleton force for Death, they definitely aren't elite troops. This is pretty much the core battle line infantry of your armies. So you want to have 30, 40, 50 of these guys marching in lockstep, kind of shambling forwards with those kind of vague memories of warriorship that they have, clutching their ancient weapons and ancestral shields and things like that.
This is
beautiful models and a really interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm getting Soulblight Gravelords.
Quite like maybe the Death Rattle skeletons we've seen before, much more of a unique Age of Sigmar sort of feel to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's worth adding. You will have the options within this kit as well to do hand weapons or spears, so you can have your unit ready to go close or be slightly
a little bit further away
to hit chances with your swords or given the poke distance. Of course, they weren't the only horde infantry unit that we were presented with. We have more dead walker zombies as well. You have a pun you want to deliver. I'm not going to steal your thunder, but these are the just grimmest looking zombies I think we've seen so far. They continue that aesthetic that we saw in the Cursed City teasers and things that we've seen, and they just continue it, and it's unpleasant.
Yeah, they're a very a very shambling, horrible bunch, aren't they? So I think what's really cool about them is that they definitely looked at that kind of chaff unit. They all have like loads of individual character.
These
I
are
like that
just
most of them,
nice.
You can probably tell how they died in some unfortunate ways. So there's like the people with their hands bound or that have been buried or with like wounds, and there's the guy with the axe in his head. So just a really fun unit, and also one again that's been asked for a very long time. The zombie miniatures that you can buy currently in the death range have been doing service for Warhammer for about 20 odd years.
Yeah, the axe and head guy wins.
Certainly due an update.
Really, I do like the one on the far right with the long hair and the knife.
Notley in the chat has got straight to it. The one on the bottom left does want to axe you a question. It's just the way that the axe is in his head, poor guy. And there's one on the top right who's carrying a rat. What's that about?
There's definitely a rat sort of theme, isn't there, throughout some of the death range we're seeing.
No worry.
Kind of
Catch you later, J. Durthu. Oh, yeah, these fellbats.
Yeah, the fellbats, these are so lovely. What a wonderful reinvention of a...
How nice are these fellbats?
The Warhammer Undead offer.
Yeah, so fellbats been part of the vampire army previously, and then the Soulblights for basically as long as they've been a vampire force in Warhammer. But we haven't really ever had miniatures that really did justice to the concept of these kind of enormous, great, bigger than the biggest eagle you've ever seen monsters that are going to swoop down and pick up men and fly off with them to drain their blood in some horrible cave somewhere. They are genuinely terrors from the night, and I think these capture that really well. I love the one that's kind of poised as well, because it looks so awkward, just sort of sitting, kind of crouching on the rock. It doesn't look like it seems just it's clearly about to pounce, but it's got a sort of weird, deathly awkwardness to it, where its limbs are quite the right shape. They look a bit inhuman. Obviously, it is just a big bounce.
Yeah, no kidding. I shout out to whoever it was in the chat. Sorry, I missed your name. Somebody said the paint jobs on the wings is tight, and they're not wrong. The End Metal team just continue to blow.
Fellbats, I think, are on 40mm rounds
They bring the
currently. So I'd say these are on the same.
And in terms of the feet look the wrong way around, I think everything about these looked a bit wrong. DSX, they are horrific undead nightmare creatures, and so it probably should be a bit disturbing.
I mean, they probably hang upside down, right? That's kind of how bats work. They have little humany feet that they kind of cling onto gargoyles and rafters and cave ceilings and things. So that just makes them even weirder. You can kind of imagine them kind of curled up in the rafters of some vampire's castle somewhere in the realm of death.
But yeah, how nice is that battle tome artwork?
Battle tome that deals with all these great new models. And we had a bit of a sort of a geek out on this before we went live. This is awesome artwork that really gives that horrible feel to what it must be like to face the Soulblight gravelords on the battlefield of the mortal realms.
I absolutely love it. I think it's my favourite battle tome cover of Age of Sigmar so far, and that's saying something. It's an absolute doozy. It's like the Adeptus one, I think, is probably my favourite up to this point. But everything about it's just perfect. It's like exactly how I imagined the Soulblights would be. You've got the kind of shambling ranks of the skeletons. You've got the even more shambling
Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon. If you notice, he is not wearing a necklace, which means he doesn't have an ethereal amulet.
Standing in his kind of crimson blue red armor. Yeah, sort of. No, but he's definitely the boss, right?
Yeah, there's an air of regality to it. It's, the aristocracy of the knight, I suppose. There's just there you go. I'm going to describe it as somebody in the chat just did. This is fantastic artwork. Yep, I like it when you help me out with the puns. There's just something really good about the way that the Sigmar Miniatures design team have just gone to town.
And just that.
Reinvigorating the great.
So cool.
I would never have imagined if you said it to me to use the great ones. I'll just use Stormcast. And now I'm genuinely staring down the barrels of I want 100 skeletons, all in serried ranks, marching forward, just to clog up the enemy with bones and armor.
I think what's really exciting about it as well with the battle tome is that we haven't really seen a proper Soulblight's army at this point. It's always been a kind of, here are some models, here's some token rules to kind of get you to play out. Yeah, and you could kind of do it, but they were definitely like a subsidiary army that was kind of bolted onto some of the death stuff. But this is like a full, properly realised force. The battle tome's got loads of good stuff in there about like you could do an army that's themed around loads of skeletons, or you can have loads of zombies, or if actually I just super love blood knights. I just want loads of blood knights. You can do really, really good armor with just packing loads of those in, have loads of vampires. Whatever it is you like about that Soulblight armor, which has all the kind of hints back to all really far into what.
Awesome. So yeah, they just announced that like you can play all vampires, all Soulblight in the army. Awesome.
Raph tells me that we have spent our time amongst the gravelords, and we should let the chat watch this.
All right, what's next? More for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Okay.
I was buried in the mountain, trapped under the rock. I have escaped my prison, but my people are gone.
This is who was under Beastgrave.
So there we are.
That's who's on.
Of the ongoing Broken Realms series. Eddie, what can you tell us?
Well, so right now, Adam, there's not a huge amount more we can tell you about that, but I think there's some tantalizing stuff in there already. So this is a future hint at some of the things that might be coming for Broken Realms, and there's a title called Kragnos. So this is a name I don't think we've heard before. This is something new, something different, something big and scary and impressive coming for the Mortal Realms, for Age of Sigmar, and generally, when big stuff comes from Warhammer, it's usually bad news for some or all involved. But plenty of good news in there for lots of hobbyists and cool stuff on the way.
I think what's interesting when you look at what we've seen for the Broken Realms series so far is that the names involved are major players. These are powerful, sort of world-altering characters. And Kragnos is new. And I'm excited to see what that is. You can see the chat taking some wild guesses, some much further from the truth than others, have a little bit of insight into this. And we're not going to give too much away at this point. We'll help you see the unfolding.
So, two things: Beast of Chaos or Kurnothi.
The release of Broken Realms Kragnos. Eddie, we probably should touch on Broken Realms tech list as well, right?
Yeah. So just to give people a bit of a recap on Broken Realms. This is an ongoing narrative, the big ongoing narrative in Warhammer Age of Sigmar right now, which is effectively, we're just off the back of Nagash doing some shenanigans with the Soul Wars and basically trying to suck in all life and death power in the realms into himself, basically, and ascend to be the ultimate force in the realms, which obviously was bad news for everybody else. And several players
Dwarf Lord, hello.
are too fond of this, so we know that
Wow.
Marathi, while all this has been going on, has made a play for Godhood herself and to kind of overtake some of the cities within the Mortal Realms. And we know that soon we have Broken Realms tech list, which will see tech lists effectively try to close down Nagash's magical shenanigans. Now,
Maybe.
we've obviously had some
It's either that or
disruptions
Beast of
over the
Chaos.
past few weeks and months. But
We're going to go onto a Warhammer community and have a look.
Will be available for pre-order next weekend. So if you've been waiting eagerly for Techlist and all of his Lumineth buddies to show up, you won't have to wait too much longer at all. The next installments after that we know is Broken Realms Be'lakor, which we've hinted at as well. So we've seen the miniature, which is absolutely jaw-droppingly incredible. So I'm particularly excited about him. He's
So we're going to have
in
a...
both Warhammer 40,000 and Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
I have a pretty meaty demon army, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, I think he'd look great. Leading an army with maybe like grey or black-clad Space Marines with like a dead Dark Angel Primaris Lieutenant on the base, something like that. That's what's in my head currently anyway for the colour scheme, but we'll see what it goes. But we know that he's coming. He's a huge player in the old world and in Warhammer 40,000. We haven't really seen him show up in the Mortal Realms yet, so interesting to see what he's up to. Probably nothing good. And then off the back of him, we have Kragnos, which at the moment is just a name, not much else.
Just the name. I like the fact that it gives us a chance to have some speculation time. And certainly the chat have already indulged a little bit of that. Some people aren't too far away and some people are miles off. And I'm not going to tell you who is who. I like it. Of course, we are not done with our time here in the Mortal Realms. There is still
Wow,
more,
okay, still more for Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
some Necromunda to come. We have one more sort of Warhammer Age of Sigmar centric topic to come with this reveal right here.
Okay, what? Diachasm. So this is going to be our Ossiarch Bone Reapers Warband, I assume. Yep. Mortec Guard, Mortec Guard. Oh, okay. He's cool. I want to say there's... There he is. There's the archer. Wow, he's huge. That dude is massive.
And again, every single time we get a Warhammer Underworlds warband revealed, it blows up with how awesome these models are. Eddie, what can you tell us about what we just saw? Here we go.
Yeah, so this is the Otsiarch Bone Reapers warband for Warhammer Underworlds. This is Kanan's Reapers, and this is exactly what you see here. This is a force of Otsiarch Bone Reapers who've been sent to Gash into the realm of beasts, into the Beast Grave. They've been sent effectively to collect the tithe of the silent people, but they're several millennia too late, and all the silent people are gone. So they're not going to leave home empty-handed. They're going to try and collect some bones and get them back to the Gash. And there's lots of bones very helpfully in the bodies of the other warbands. So they're going to be going around trying to make sure that the tax is paid, the tithe is collected, even if that means extracting some unwilling calcium-based currency.
Yeah, no kidding. I think there's something nice about. I've looked in not in great detail, but a little bit into how this warband plays, and of course, as you might expect, as that tithe mounts, they expire. So by 5 out of action.
Wow.
But the thing I think everybody in the chat is commented on, and I definitely feel is that
you missed probably the coolest thing on.
Is just the end of the.
Maybe we're getting Kernothi. Or Beastman.
So I think all the miniatures in there are really cool. They're really interesting.
No, you missed a big bit. You missed a new Broken Realms book with a character we know nothing about, or except that he's the one that's come out of Beastgrave, I reckon.
But absolutely, the big boss guy there in the centre is unlike anything we've really seen. I mean, we showed him that model on his own previously, and a lot of speculation in terms of like what he is, what does he mean, generally, what's his role in the Ossiarch Bone Reapers, not just in this warband, but across all of it. But just that model alone is like one of the most impressive character kits of recent years. I think a lot of people wanted to take that up in the display.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's the sort of apron of stitched skin or the sort of way that his various body parts are clearly made up of sort of reshaped bone, but it's something very horrifying. I work with a fellow called Adam, two Adams, never too many, and he was super excited about the Bone Reaper with the bow and arrow. He has quite a large Ossiarch Bone Reapers army, and he was super psyched that there'd be an archer in this team. So take from that what you will, but it was delighted to see him get very excited.
Yeah, so I don't think we've seen any Ossiarchs with arrows before. We've seen that they've got obviously catapults and war machines. I think there's another one in there with a two-handed sword where there isn't, other than maybe a few of the character kits that accompany the Mortarch of the Ossiarchs, that there aren't any Ossiarchs with double-handed weapons either. So there's some weapon combinations in this warband that are unique to this
I wagered with Raph before we started. Somebody would ask me a question about base sizes, and I had the answer. And I've just had the one base size related question I don't have the answer to, which is Ismir came on a 50mm base. I'm guessing it's a 40, but I don't know. So you'll just have to guess. The others are on 32s. You might be able to do some maths, but I'm going to leave that to a great mind because it might be on 25s. Well, base sizes. What a thing to be excited about.
Interesting as well, if you play Warhammer Underworlds, the base size literally doesn't matter. He could be on any side of base at all.
I guess not, but eventually these fellas will make it into your Underworld game, into your Warhammer Age of Sigmar games as well. There'll be a
wow, that warband is really, really nice.
Right, well, so there you go. People are still talking about things in the chat. There was a question. Yeah, okay. There's this. So Child of Rapture would like to see these guys representing as all units, and I'm inclined to agree. I think
Alright,
I'm gonna Warhammer Underworlds. They tend to prove to be a really nice way to provide you an introduction to maybe something new that you haven't.
Going to have a look at a picture of this dude.
Around Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Have you done many of the warbands yourself?
So what I've done is in my head. That's what I'd love to do. I'm like, oh, what a great chance to paint up some beautiful models. I'm going to make sure that I've collected all of these. So I have a box which has every single one of the Warhammer Underworld warbands in. Assembled but not painted. The only ones I think I've actually painted are the Stormcast and the Skaven from the very first edition. But certainly in my head there is this plan that at some point I will go through all the various races of Warhammer.
All right. So I've gone and taken a picture. They put up the video, so I've taken a picture. I'm going to do some intense studying on that model, that giant monster model, whatever he is.
I think this is another great example of that. All of the ones.
Kragnos video just went up live. I've taken a snapshot of it.
Warbands left to reveal for this season of Warhammer Underworlds as well. So
This is number 7.
this is Warband 7 of the season 4. That's right.
So
there's a
I'm
lot
just
of
taking a photo. I'm going to do some serious studying.
Hi. The
Behind
last
here.
one is looks pretty interesting. So we've seen a little silhouette of it in a preview previously. Quite excited about that.
Maybe it's something related.
That's quite interesting. I don't know what it is. Maybe the chat can fill me in if they've seen it. I just want to look back on the thing we were saying about painting the warbands you painted. I use them as nice palette cleansers. So I, for example, have never done a Fire Slayer army, but I picked up the Fire Slayers to do them. I used contrast paint them to do them super quick, and it was just an evening of fun for me. And then I painted the squigs out of the warband with all the.
Painting squid is always a good use of time.
Oh yeah, quite. So, but you know, take what you will from that. Right, let's line ourselves up for our next reveal if we can, right?
Alrighty. So what are we going to see next?
Get ready to go over and see what's new and exciting.
Alrighty. 40k. Yeah, 40k with the music. Oh. Okay. Here are our redemptionists. Yeah. So we're getting redemptionists for Necromunda. 40k reveal is going to be big. I think we're getting Tyranids. These are cool. Dun, 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 dun. That chainsaw is awesome.
So, something new for Necromunda, fire coming from the Underhive. Adam, what did we just see?
Well, what you see here is
All right, so Kragnos trapped under a mountain. Like for me, that sounds like he's the one that's in Beast. He's the one that's been trapped in Beastgrave, by the sounds of it. For Kragnos, I think.
They are trouble, and they're an offshoot of House Cawdor. Here you can see them in their glory. These guys are absolutely mad religious fanatics who sort of are a hyper radical break-off of the already quite loopy House Cawdor, and they connect sort of their belief of sort of the Imperial Creed and devotion to the Emperor is closely connected to what is nothing short of pyromania. They're a classic Necromunda warband in that you may be familiar with them if you are old enough to recall Necromunda Outlanders way back when I was but a teenager. And actually, I had quite a large redemptionist gang myself. So these are essentially Cawdor redemptionists. They're Cawdor who've gone too far, and they are living well outside of the law. These are completely unsanctioned by your average everyday Imperial devotee. And they have some really interesting sort of aesthetic things going on. Obviously, you can see they've got like hats on fire and flame motifs. You can see the guy with the eviscerator, which is the like 6-foot-long double-handed chainsaw. He's got like half a mask, which is carved in a flame.
He's got a flamethrower inside the chainsaw, I think.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that is sort of quite distinctive to the Redemptionists, is that they like flame so much that they strap flamers to other weapons, and so they're exterminators. You see the guy in the sort of center right with his exterminator underneath his pump-action shotgun. You've got the fellow holding the eviscerator beside him, who has got an exterminator sort of in the middle of his double-handed chainsaw blade.
These dudes are cool. I'm a big fan of the.
It's a full plastic set from the team that work on Necromunda, and you can use them either to put a few sort of fiery zealots, pun intended, I guess, into your Cawdor gang, or you can do an entirely redemptionist gang if you want to. At which point you are operating well outside the bounds of the law.
So you can sort of decide how pious you want your Cawdor to be, because they're already pretty fanatical, aren't they, the Cawdor? They come out of the gates already well invested in the Imperial Creed, probably looking down some of their houses certainly from a religious standpoint.
I've got a couple of pics, right? I mean,
But if you want
Got a
to
couple
do,
wrongs. We didn't see
fully
anything
follow
more
the world
umbilical.
and kind of embrace the complete self-destructive, fiery nature of the Imperial Creed, this is the way to go. And I think when you have your gang and you kind of progress them, you can kind of move in that direction. So you can start with your corridor almost kind of normal by the standards that any corridor can be. And then as the gang progresses, as more of these zealots join them, as more of your guys become fiery devotees of the particular gods, you can effectively.
All right, so yeah, 40k reveals are going to be big if they're ending with 40k. So, Sister Battle New Codex and maybe a Tyranid teaser. It's my predictions for it. So,
they can live a relatively normal life in the hellscape that is the 41st millennium, where life is drudgery and
it is getting extremely late here. It's almost 1 o'clock over here.
Who don't think that their neighbours are quite zealous enough. So, there's a touch of self-flagellation to them. They sneer and condescend on those who just normally faithful. These guys, the Redemption Crusade, they band together.
I don't know, like if they are Kurnothi and not Beastmen, like there's every chance that could be Beastmen or something else entirely as well. Who knows? It could be like its whole new Centaur faction that's entirely different from everything. But like if that is Kurnothi, it makes it seem like they're going to be their own thing.
Territory, causing trouble to the people that they're offering protection to, interfering with their illegal activities, and so it's just an awesome area for some serious fiery friction between the different gang houses. And then, of course, the enforcers have got a real axe to grind against these guys.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic as well, because a lot of the time in Warhammer 40,000, the Imperial cult is like, it's not exactly the good guys, but you probably put them on the right side of order compared to things like the Forces of Chaos or the Forces of Xenos they quite often go up against. So there's a really interesting juxtaposition that these guys are probably some of the most dangerous radicals inside the hive, but they're also the most pious devotees of the Emperor. So the Adeptus, the enforcers effectively have to crack down on these guys harder, if anything, than some of the less devoted members of which are trying to keep their head down and out of trouble sort of thing. These guys are full on, let's get into trouble, set it on fire and put a chainsaw.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's also worth sort of connecting them to the wider Imperium, which is if you're a mono-dominant inquisitor to surround yourself in maniacs who are so zealous that they'll help you with your purges. I guess the Redemptionists aren't too far away from what you're looking for. And somebody's already pointed out there was a character in Blackstone Fortress that doesn't look a million miles away. I think there's
I don't know. It's interesting. Like we don't know. There is nothing on this. This is a brand new character they're bringing in that's never been a thing before. So who knows with that? It's going to be interesting to see more and more information. Like, I want Kurnothi, but I would not be against Beastmen. I mean, I've got a nice little Darkwalkers army I can expand sitting right over there. So,
this is a really fun kit for bits, basically, to mix up and spread amongst the rest of your Imperial forces, especially if you're wanting something extra pious.
I apologise for my yawning. Like I said, it is almost 1 a.m. over here in Australia, so
maniac with a chainsaw that worships the Emperor and one that worships the Chaos Gods, actually, when you get right down to it, if you're standing across from them, maybe isn't all that thing.
Yeah, Devotee Bob in the chat coming in with the heavy, deep memory. It was Devotee Malachim was the model you're referring to. And it connects with this. I'll be honest, my first thought when I saw these was that I would like to reprise the Redemption Crusade of my youth. My second thought was, wouldn't these make good retinue members to follow my Dark Angels around for ammunition boxes with a head swap and some crates of ammunition and stuff? I reckon that we're going to find there's a whole bunch of people who are quite excited about the idea of sort of adding these to their various Warhammer 40,000 and Necromunda collections. Do you have a Necromunda gang, Eddie?
So,
man, I really got to get into Necromunda. I love the minis for it. There's so many cool minis in Necromunda, it's not funny. But they're spending an awful lot of time talking about this, so.
I've also put together a few ashes, but I've not really.
So can we get to the 40k now? I want to see what the big reveals are for 40k.
But I generally, my attention in recent years has gone to 40k and Age of Sigmar. But certainly, if you're proposing a Necromunda campaign or something, it would all be fun spotters to dust off.
Oh, let's wait till lockdown's done and let's do it. Yeah, for sure. It's interesting that people in the chat are being super mean and saying either they look just heretical enough to be aligned with the Dark Ages, or no, Adam, they wouldn't hang around with Clear Space.
I mean, I think you bring it upon yourself.
You're all mean, and I did nothing to deserve this. I think
It's the
Oh, okay, new Necromunda box as well.
Rapper's moved us on. Of course, these aren't the only new and exciting thing we can look forward to with Necromunda around the corner. Eddie, can you give us the lowdown on this?
Absolutely. So this is Necromunda Hive War. This is a new starter set that's coming for Necromunda. We have had the current incarnation of Necromunda for a few years now. There are lots and lots of books and expansions and gangs and things you can choose to get into it. But one of the things that's happened is it's maybe a little bit difficult to know where to start with Necromunda. It's such a sprawling, huge thing at this point. So Necromunda Hive War, if you haven't dived headfirst into Necromunda yet, and you're thinking, actually, this is looking pretty cool, I fancy a Redemptionist gang, or those Escher models look pretty cool every time I look at them, or I want
This
to
is cool.
Build my own little city with those cool Zone Mortalis-esque sort of boards. This is the box for you. This is a great introductory way to start. It's a little cheaper than some of the previous ways there's been to get into Necromunda. You've got 2 gangs in the box. You've got all the templates, cards, things you need. You've got Delac in there. You've got Escher.
Oh, cool. It's got my
Plus
favourite
Zone Mortalis scenery
gangs in this one.
A map to play on as well. So it's a really nice little starter set.
This is
If you're
tempting.
already into Necromunda and you've got either of these gangs, or you want to expand your terrain collection, this is mega. But really, this is for people who are Necromunda curious and want to know where to start. It's this box. Get this box.
Yeah, no, I could grab that Necromunda box.
Into the Underhive. And it's one of those games which suits really nicely a sort of a small gaming group that can meet together quite often. My best experience with Necromunda have been with sort of 2 or 3 friends, committing to a weekly session and watching the gangs grow and their various fortunes wax and wane. And as you say, a perfect way to dip your toe in. Right, where's that rat?
It's definitely a narrative heavy experience, isn't it? That's the way to play it. The best way to play Necromunda is to play multiple games that link together, whether that's a compact weekend or like a week where you play lots of stuff, or regular gaming. So it's a very satisfying experience if you're kind of expanding your gang and adding members and that sort of stuff. That's the way to get the best out of it. But also just a really fun, satisfying setting as well, I think, and very different from a lot of the rest of Warhammer 40,000.
Well, apparently it's cheaper than the previous incarnations, which is positive. Yeah, I might grab this and get some Necromunda happening on the channel. What do people think? Necromunda on the channel? Would they like to see campaigns?
I think when the plastics came out, I was like, yeah, that's my gang. I also just, as a painter, generally I paint super ludicrous, colourful, funky colour schemes, right? So the Eschers just tick all the boxes for me. Yourself, Adam?
All options. Redemption Crusade actually are my second favourite, but I've been a fan of House Orlok since I was like a teenage boy, and I saw in White Wolf the very first
I am a
glint of Necromunda. And yeah, I've got quite
fan. Maybe this will be the thing that gets me into Necromunda.
Around my house when lockdown is over. Yes, if you're down.
Everybody, how many people in the chat now? As you go to the tables?
Yeah,
What, 35,000 people?
We might need to wait till Warhammer World open up if you're all coming. Like, you're all welcome. Right, let us have a short break while Raph puts something on the screen, and we'll be right back.
They were still in... Oh, okay.
Fighting crude. Work to do, no time for crawling in dirt. Hypothesis. Skitarii fit to fight, perhaps to lead. Modifications needed. Needs arms to direct troops. 4, no arms fighting. Data suggests fondness for blunt objects. Analysis. Illogical but efficient. Thunder. Not succeeded. Control study, perhaps. Yes. Design parameters. Acceptable. Upload command data and commence field testing.
Okay, new character for Skitarii. Okay, and 9th Ed AdMech book. Cool.
So, the chat had some people requesting could they have some Adeptus Mechanicus stuff, and here we are with it. Eddie, give us the lowdown.
So what we've seen there, Adam, are two things. Both of them will be very exciting to 40k fans generally, but especially anybody with an interest in the Adeptus Mechanicus. So the first of them is a brand new miniature. I think we've seen little bits of this miniature hinted at the past, but this is a Skitarii Marshal. So this is a leader of the Skitarii cohorts that the tech priests can send off to either lead a formation or a mission, or maybe one of the smaller armies. He's got a little bit more autonomy than some of the other Skitarii might have. A capable warrior and a capable fighter in his own right, but the real thing that he brings to your army is the ability to buff your nearby Skitarii, give them some extra abilities. Obviously, he can carry relics, he can handle himself in a fight. The miniature is just really cool. It's probably the coolest looking Skitarii miniature we've seen. And I think the thing that I particularly
Alrighty, cool.
There's lots of hints on there.
Skitarii?
Really old concept art.
Full AdMech army?
Like about the kind of covered in detail.
I still feel they're just like they're stalling. This is not what we're getting, like the big thing.
Servo Skull.
So
it's just a really fun, cool model that's 100% Skitarii, but a little bit different for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and you know, this guy is not your tier 1 close combat or even range attack killer. His purpose is to coordinate these Skitarii ranks around him. But he's still got his control stave, which is a pretty decent weapon. He's got his revolver, Serpentia pistol, which looks ace. And I think mainly, if you're enjoying these sort of chrome ranks of killing machines, which the Skitarii, what was that sound say? Which the Skitarii can be, this guy is the supervisor that you need. Yeah, and as for his Servo Skull friend, I'm an absolute sucker for a Servo Skull on my model, and that is a great example of it.
I think one of the things that's really interesting about the Adeptus Mechanicus is there's a lot of really weird and unusual ways you can build an army. So you've got
he's a nice model. I don't know. AdMech just don't do it for me.
One of the ways you can absolutely build an Adeptus Mechanicus army is a fairly traditional infantry.
I'm not too fussed about this dude, to be honest.
With guns. And if that's what appeals to you, that kind of like almost metronomic ancient legion sort of style, and a lot of the aesthetic of the Skitarii hints back to things like ancient Roman legionnaires and stuff like that. And you like the idea of like blocks of troops moving forward with individual commanders in amongst them.
He's cool, but
this is a great model to add to your collection, and it helps that kind of army work basically.
Yeah, there's something I really like about the sort of Skitarii aesthetic as well. It's got that crest reminiscent of, you know, the sort of the horsehair crests that ancient Roman soldiers would have, and then he's got like a lovely frock coat with big little buttons. There's something really great about the whole.
There's a lot of archetypes overlapping on that. What I think the face on it's really cool for me, because most of the Skitarii, if you think about the ones we've seen so far, they either have that kind of complete flat visor face, or they have the ranger face, which looks quite kind of scouty. He definitely looks like he's going to shout at you. Like he's got like a box grill there on the front. He looks like he means business. He's got a kind of tactical analysis, optical eye thing going on. A lot about what that character is in the Skitarii army is captured just in the head of the miniature alone compared to the rest of the range, which is just really clever miniature design, really.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got a strong disapproving vibe, and I love the fact that Duck Duck Toys has said he has a tactical rock. Of course, he's put one thing. We have the Codex Adeptus Mechanicus inbound as well. I don't know whether we should start with talking about the sorts of things that would be in it.
So, what are people's thoughts on AdMech?
Let's go with the cover being super rad. It's probably actually because it's got some literal rad weapons on the cover there. So, the Adeptus Mechanicus are like, it's easy to forget sometimes if you've been into Warhammer 40,000 for a long time. They're just super weird. They're like really, really creepy weird. And this cover captures that wonderfully. So theoretically, you've got effectively a human in there somewhere, but the man inside that tech priest is so lost under all the technology, and there's like a little bit of religious devotion in there. You can see some of the hands he's got praying, but he wants to pray and also make sure he can do some fixing machines. So he's also got some spare hands. He's got a couple of extra spare hands on there as well to make sure he's got all the tools he needs. He's got like a million.
Yeah, the cover's like. I mean, look at this compared to the other battle tone, to the other army book, compared to like the Soulblight Gravelords cover. For me, it's just got. I don't know. It's not that great a book cover, to be honest. Like, I can appreciate the artwork, but it doesn't work as a book cover for me.
Sure. So in terms of the new,
It's a nice piece of artwork, but it's not a book cover piece.
So the new codex follows the pattern that we've seen for a lot of the new Warhammer 40,000 codexes. So this will be familiar to people who've been following along with what's happening with this edition so far. So one of the biggest things all of the new codexes have brought is Crusade rules, which is really exciting. So effectively allowing you to tie your narrative games of Warhammer 40,000 together. And as you would expect, a lot of the Adeptus Mechanicus Crusade rules are about things like acquiring technology. So they'll be off either kind of exploring Xenos relics or kind of trying to trudge through ancient.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel.
Ancient ruins and that sort of stuff.
It's a nice piece of artwork, but it's not a Battletome cover piece for me. Compare this to like the Soulblight Gravelords, which I think is 10 out of 10, probably one of the best covers they've got. Completely.
The other thing that's going to bring, obviously, is a lot of changes to the way that our army works. So the general themes that we've seen for the new edition of Warhammer 40,000 is the codexes tend to make weapons deadlier, and that is true of the Adeptus Mechanicus book as well. So a lot of the guns in the army, a lot of the guns across Warhammer 40,000 with the Space Marine Codex we saw get a little bit better. So things like heavy bolters got a bit better, flamers got.
I'm not sure what I'm looking at with that model in the middle.
And the Adeptus Mechanicus make all that stuff, and they also keep the best stuff for themselves. So logically,
yeah, for me,
which is exactly how they work,
Admech just don't do
all
it.
of the
Like,
weapons. that
well,
they-
some parts, like I could go Imperial Knights every day, but Admech, nah.
Institutions, so all of their rad carbines and phosphor blasters and all of that stuff is going to be comparatively deadliness increase compared to things like what heavy bolters got. So a lot of their guns are going to get better. The other thing
It is very John Blanche, and I love John Blanche artwork,
the Adeptus Mechanicus
but it's not the stuff that should be on front of a Battletome. This, to me, doesn't sell me an army.
If you remember during the Psychic Awakening, they got a lot of new models. They got a couple of models thrown in with Kill Team as well, and they've got the new Skitarii Marshal. So you've got new flying machines, you've got new jump troops, you've got new cavalry, you've got a couple of new characters. There are lots of things in this codex that weren't there the last time they had a codex, and that's all consolidated together. All of the stats have been looked at and improved as appropriate. There's a lot more stratagems that sync up with those different units to allow it to work together. And there's now, it's really interesting because there's now loads of different ways you can build an Adeptus Mechanicus army in a way that you maybe couldn't when the last codex came out. So you can do, if you like robots, fill your boots. If you like ranks of Skitarii marching forward, fill your boots. If you
I've
like
really talked a lot about all this 40k stuff.
Supporting stuff, that's cool.
Right.
If you like lots of weird flying stuff that looks like it was pulled out of the mind of some weird
Really seem to be dragging this review out with this 40k stuff.
40,000 years later, that's cool. You can do whole armies of that. It's just a really fun army. It's weird in so many directions.
I agree. You've got me quite excited. Somebody in the chat said, "What about the Xenos Factions Games Workshop?" You should go and check out the fact that Codex Dracari came out.
Yes. So it's a pre-order code Dracari.
The Warhammer Studio fight this amazing battle of making cool new things, servicing existing cool old things, and trying to keep everything.
That's fair.
They're doing a pretty sterling job. I realised that time is marching on, but that was a pretty exciting way to stop and look at one of the forthcoming codexes. A few people have touched on. I'll pitch this as a question in the comment, which is they said, "Oh, can we see a codex roadmap for the future?" Well, we've done some of those sorts of things in the past, but right now, supply, because of the way the world is a little bit more out of whack than normal. But you know what? Eddie and I can take that back to the Warhammer community team. Maybe we can come up with something which will help you see what the future looks like. But some of what the future looks like is actually told you through these previews. We're super glad you've joined us. Right, we've still got a bit of Warhammer 40,000 to go. Raph is poised, ready with the button. If you'd like to see the next thing in our preview, watch this.
Sisters of Battle. Yeah. Oh. You're not. Okay. Sister Battle Tank. Nuns with very big guns. That's cool. It's just a battle like Predator.
Eddie, some heavy armor for the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Yeah, so this is a brand new battle tank for the forces of the Sisters of Battle. This is the Sisters of Battle Adeptus Mechanicus Castigator tank, which those of you who are familiar with your Warhammer 40,000 STCs, as required by the Scholar Virginian standard reading, will recognise this is based on a Rhino chassis, much like most of the other weapons battle tanks of the Adeptus Mechanicus. But this is very definitely a line battle tank. So compared to things like the Rhinos and other transport that they have, this is packing a lot more firepower. So you can see it's 3 heavy bolters plus a main battle cannon on the top there. And just a really cool extra new piece of heavy kit for the Sisters of Battle to roll out if they need to take out some particularly well-armoured heretics.
The chat is literally killing me. Mr. Sketch said the gunnery of nunnery, and
That's the best one. The gunnery of nunnery.
What we have here is following on the time-honoured tradition of using the ubiquitous Rhino as the base plate for all sorts of mechanised death. And this has certainly got all the guns. I was having a look at the details on it. Let me grab my key to. So the big gun in the middle is a Castigator battle cannon. The top right-hand corner, you can see Castigator autocannons. So they're variants of well-known patterns of weapon. And then the thing just absolutely bristles with all sorts of bolts of death. You've got the Pintle storm bolts, you've got the side sponson heavy bolters. You've even got a heavy bolter mounted in his own little alcove at the front. This is going to pour out in the most unpleasant way.
Yeah, there's some really nice touches.
Yeah, this is a nice tank. I really like the pulled up helmet of the Sister Battle as well.
The Exorcist, which is as much kind of a rolling shrine as it is a weapon of war. But
Like the visor up, I think is cool on the Sister of Battle with Stormbolter.
Armored range support that the Sisters had. Most of their weaponry across the whole range is very, very short range. So actually, this fulfills a really interesting niche in the Sisters' army, because if most of your army is actually either a flamethrower or is only really effective when you get within 6 or 12 inches, actually having something that could reach out and do serious damage across the battlefield is a really nice thing to add into your force. A lot of the bits on this tank are really nicely interchangeable with lots of the other bits on things like the Immolator and the Exorcist. So you can see the kind of braziers around the outside are very similar to the braziers you get on some of the other Sisters tanks. These ones are the ones with the coals kind of maybe not literally on fire but just burning. But you can swap them out.
Yeah, no, I'm really keen for Sister to get some Sister Battle now.
To kind of mix those kits together and have the Sister from this tank sitting in the pintle of the other tanks. Lots of cool little shrine details and things. And there's a really nice difference in aesthetic between this and some of the Space Marine tanks. Which basically take the Rhino chassis and kind of strip it right back and be like, this is just a weapon of war. Even though this is very much a battle tank, they've still managed to find space for little shrines and alcoves with holy saints in there and lots of kind of gold filigree work. So it's going to look really nice painted up in the various different colour palettes of the Sisters battle.
Yeah, and one of the questions in the chat probably field was, can you swap out the side sponsons for heavy flamers? I don't believe so. I think the entire raison d'etre to this particular tank is to throw hard rounds at the enemy as fast as possible. And so think of it as like a mobile fire base, if you will, with exploding bolt rounds rather than actual fire. I think the Sisters of Battle, we've seen a couple of quite cool things for them lately, haven't we? And the stained glass window sort of alluded to some of those. But there's some good stuff to look forward to right now if you're a fan of the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Yeah, so the this certainly isn't the end of the stuff for the Adeptus Mechanicus. We've got more to show you in the future previews. One thing that's worth calling out is today the Piety and Pain box set went on pre-order, which has the first of those new Sisters models, which is the Palatine, which is effectively the lieutenant level character for the Sisters of Battle, is available in that battle box. She's got some tough competition. She's up against Lila Tesprax, who's one of the most deadly duelists in the entire Warhammer 40,000 universe. So get her before she gets sliced into bits.
Oh, there you go. People are saying it might already be sold out in some places. In which case, if you missed it, sorry. If you haven't missed it in your territory, you can go and have a look. Goodness, what a time to be alive. Now, Raph has just made the noise in my ear. I should give a shout out to Raph. I'm not going to waste a bit more time while I do this, which is, of course, there's a third member to our little preview team, and that is Raph, who makes sure that everything runs smoothly. Big up the dude with the tech powers. We've got one more video to show, is that right? Let's hit it.
All right, last video. Come on, Tyranids. Tyranids, please.
Boys, listen up.
It's Orcs.
In the beginning, Gork and Mort needed some fighty lads. So they did some stuff. And the Orcs appeared. Some of them were rats. But there was lots of boys too. Some of them were big. And some of them were weird. But they was all mean and green. Except the red ones. And the biggest and greenest around is the big boss. And we've got to listen to him, as he's taking us on the great war. That's where all the best fighting is. Who's going to use all the shiny new trucks and shooters to crumb that you want? We don't need that shit. Shut up, you kids. As I will say, the other lads have their shinies and their no-lots, but they don't know how to use them proper. Not like us. We've got our stitches and our squeaks. We're gonna drag them down.
We're going to get Savage Orcs from 40k?
with their
Okay.
teeth and their fancy truck gubbins. That's why we're the biggest. And
We're getting 40k Savage Orcs.
anytime we're in. Saddle up, please, snaggers. The war coming.
So the best things in Warhammer 40,000 are clearly green. Eddie, do you have anything you'd like to say on this topic?
That's cool.
I could not be more excited about this, Adam. I am super excited. This is the thing that I've been looking forward to. Hoping everyone will see really soon. There's some cool orc stuff on its way, and we saw the first hints of it there in that little preview.
Wow.
I think we have a miniature. Look at it! Isn't it beautiful? I mean, everything Warhammer does is awesome, but this is a particularly awesome example of some of the stuff that's coming up. I am an absolutely enormous fan of anything that is squig flavored, and these guys absolutely scratch the my biggest Warhammer itch. This is a beast snagger orc, and this particular gentleman is a
Gentlemen.
this particular gentleman is a squig hog boy, which is a new type of squig we haven't seen before. That is a big, beefy looking orc on the back of him, and there's even a grot hanging off the side there with a chopper. So there's some very cool stuff coming for orcs. This is the shape of it, and I'm pretty excited. So a few more things to talk about. The beast snaggers are a type of orc we haven't seen before. They are absolutely dedicated to hunting down big scary stuff. So they find monsters and tanks and even titans and stuff, and see if they can take them down. A kind of nomadic force within the Orcish war. They're big and tough, as you'd imagine, because they've got to kind of take down big scary things and kind of harpoon monsters and try and bring them down.
That's cool. Like, this is cool.
Any problem can be solved with the application of
like-
kind of squid, which is absolutely a philosophy I can get on board.
Massive fan of this. I want this.
It's kind of an insane combination of sort of a pig, a squid, and a shark. Is that fair?
Yeah, there's a bit of shark in there for sure. It's just really fun. I think I remember things like the snakebite Orc Boys from the 1990 something when they came out in the kind of like weird hair riding on pigs, and this is just such an absolutely wonderful reinvention of that kind of idea, because there's some hints in there to something that's kind of been in Warhammer for years and years and years, but also it's something completely weird and wonderful and wacky and new that we haven't seen before. It's just joyous. Like, it's just a wonderfully fun miniature, and I think we saw some hints in that video of some of the other things that might be on their way as well. So there's plenty more to see soon for orcs. But I think if you're an orc player like me, get excited about squigs, basically.
Yeah, I mean, what a time to be alive. The snakebites are about to get their time in the sun, aren't they? So I'm not sure what else there is to say after that rather exciting experience, except that I love the Warhammer TTT videos. They make it great, because that one was a genuine delight, especially a bit. Except the red ones. What joy. Right. So I think we are approaching what can only be described as the end of all things. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that is the preview at this point. But we've seen a lot of very exciting stuff. I think a few things worth saying is that all of the stuff that we've just seen in the previews, they're all of the videos, all of the images. If you didn't get as good as
Well, this has been great.
them a bit more, head over to Warhammer Community.
Wonder if we're going to get a little teaser at the end.
All of those images and watch those videos again up close. All of that stuff will be on there, if not already.
People happy with what we've seen?
Yeah, for sure. The article should be quite insightful in the things that you'll see in it, and again, nice pictures at a good resolution. Is there a flying Indomitus box in the background? Adam's feed. There's a shelf here. It's on a shelf. It's not flying. Oh.
Has mine? Oh.
Thank you to the moderators who helped keep things going smoothly.
Sorry about that.
Great. Thank you to Raph, who did all the buttons and techno wizardry.
Don't know what happened there.
Clever. Thank you to you, Eddie, for being my companion through this awesome tour of.
Are we going to get one little video, maybe?
It's been a great way to spend a Saturday afternoon. I'm super stoked for all the cool new things. Hopefully, there was something in this preview that got you excited as well. And we're going to be back in the not too distant future with another, even bigger preview. So don't you worry. Right, should we sign off?
Absolutely, yeah. I think you pretty much covered it well there, Adam. But it's always a pleasure. Looking forward to another future Saturday with you where we can see some more cool Warhammer stuff. And I think I'm off to put more highlights on this squig. We might have some friends soon.
And I have an appointment with an end. Right, everybody, you're the best. Have a lovely Saturday, and we'll see you again very soon.
Well, that's that. Alrighty. Well, that was that. Thank you everyone for coming along, joining us, and having some fun chatting. But I need to go to bed, so we've done this. Thank you all for watching. I will catch you all again real soon. All right. Stay safe, everyone. Stay well. Most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Don't forget, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, go over and join the Discord, and lastly, a special shout out to everyone who supports the channel via Patreon and YouTube members, of which you can join those if you wish to do blah, blah, blah in the links. Whatever. Have a good night, everyone. Ciao. I'll see you again real soon.